Well, we know that Monza is a very special place in Formula One, and it threw out a very special race indeed today. Nate Saunders is joining me. Nate, are you not entertained? We finally saw some entertainment, and we knew that it was going to take a series of unfortunate events for the usual big three to throw out the podium that we saw today, topped by none other than Pierre Gasly. Amazing stuff there for him and AlphaTauri, followed by Carlos Sainz of McLaren, and then Racing Point's Lance Stroll. But let's talk about Pierre Gasly, because this time last year, all the, I suppose, tough moments he went through personally with the death of Antoine Hubert, and of course being released by Red Bull and replaced by Alex Albon. How significant of a win is this for him?
Yeah, it's amazing for him. I mean, the big question last year when he was at Red Bull was, had he been promoted kind of unjustifiably? You know, he was dropped. Whenever we spoke to him at Red Bull last year, I'll never forget, towards the end, he just looked like a deer in the headlights. Like he didn't know what he was doing. And since he's gone back to AlphaTauri, he's been fantastic. You know, this year especially, he's been one of the standout drivers. And this is the Pierre Gasly that Red Bull promoted. This is the guy that they have placed all that faith in. And it's been great seeing him kind of recover from that demotion. And like you said as well, you know, the last race we were talking about, 12 months since the loss of one of his best friends, Antoine Hubert. And what's so impressive about Pierre is just kind of how he's taken all of this into his stride. And I think actually the demotion, probably when we look back at it, will be one of the best things that ever happened to him. So yeah, incredible win. And when he was out there in the front, I was thinking, this is his race to lose, you know, and it was a sort of race where the amount of pressure he was under at the end, it was incredible, and didn't put a foot wrong. Carlos Sainz got so close to him at the end, you know, agonizing for Sainz if you're a Sainz fan. I think Sainz had a fantastic race as well. Either of those guys, there's a great story behind the win, but for Pierre, like you said, 12 months, it's just been an absolute roller coaster for him. And now the big question is, what the hell do Red Bull do? Because, you know, Alex Albon, again, didn't have a great race. I'm still not convinced by Albon at all. And Gasly is just outperforming Albon every weekend. And, you know, if this isn't enough justification to put Gasly back in that car, you know, I don't know what will be. So incredible race for Gasly. And I think if this Gasly can go to Red Bull and perform like this, he'll be on that podium multiple times in his career. You know, I think that this is the guy that Red Bull can really pin their future on with Verstappen. And that's the big if he can take this form to Red Bull and capitalize on it there.
Well, speaking of outperforming, that's something that no doubt Lewis Hamilton does against Valtteri Bottas week in, week out. Lewis couldn't do it today, and it did take a 10-second stop-start penalty to hold the man back. But still, let's talk about Valtteri in this point, because there was only so much Lewis could do, and he still did great to at least get back up into the points. But Valtteri again, Nate, I still feel like this was yet another opportunity that I don't know why he was unable to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. And, you know, a lot will be made of Lewis and the penalty, and you know, it was completely justifiable, the penalty he got. Lewis did a fairly good job getting back. But this kind of race, we've talked about Valtteri all year. Like, this is the moment that Valtteri needs to chip away at that lead. And from the very start, he just didn't look like he was in the same car as Lewis. You know, he was slow off the beginning. He kept saying to the team, do I have a puncture? Do I have issue? And they're like, no, you've got no problems. You know, so maybe they'll have a deeper analysis into that car and find something. But this looked awful for him, and I actually think this is the worst race of his I've seen since he went to Mercedes, because there was a win there for the taking. And I think Lewis still would have been far ahead of him in the championship. He still would have been over a one race win worth of points. But this is the sort of thing that we say with Bottas, like, if he gets it, does it kind of kickstart something for him? And yeah, just an absolutely massive opportunity missed. He was struggling to get past anyone. Lewis at the end was just about getting past people. You know, he had a lot more work to do and was kind of coming through some lap traffic and stuff. But yeah, crazy race for Bottas, and I think this really, his stock is at an all-time low right now, which coming into the season I didn't think was going to be the case.
Well, speaking of stock being at an all-time low, we've got to talk about Ferrari, because I know an Italian team did win today, so at least that gives the people of Italy something to celebrate. But it is not the big guns of Ferrari. And again, I keep asking, how much more worse can things get for Ferrari? Have they gone past rock bottom with what we saw today?
Well, yeah, I didn't expect the Italian national anthem to play at any point this weekend. So, you know, nice that it did. And yeah, you're right. I think this is, we've joked about it, but I genuinely think Ferrari will be happy there weren't fans at this race, because, you know, this was a sort of event you just don't want your home fans to be at. And, you know, brake failure for Vettel, really strange crash for Leclerc. And his crash looked like a guy driving an undrivable car. You know, it was all over the place coming through that corner. And yeah, you know, this feels like they're right at the bottom of where things could get. And luckily for them, the circuits coming up shouldn't punish them as much as these last two have. they'll hope it hasn't. Their next race is their 1000th race in F1 at their circuit. So if there's any place to spark some sort of resurgence, it's going to be there. But yeah, I mean, unbelievable that they've had 2 races like this. And obviously, hugely thankful that Leclerc got out of the car and was unhurt. But his crash prompted the red flag that also added to the drama after Lewis. So at least Ferrari did kind of spice the race up a little bit with you know, and it was Kevin Magnussen's Ferrari engine failing that prompted Lewis Hamilton's entry to the pits, which was obviously illegal. So I tweeted kind of tongue-in-cheek, like, just never forget the Ferrari engine is what saved the Italian Grand Prix. So I think that ultimately is the takeaway. You know, if you want to put a silver lining on Ferrari's race weekend, is they did deliver a fantastic race, just for the wrong Italian team at the end.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.